Hi guys, welcome to Youth. It's Friday night. I hope you guys are excited. I'm here with Katie Campbell and we're doing Ask Me Anything. So grab your 99p popcorn, your Vimto roll, your slushy.
I love Vimto.
I like it, and let's get into it. So first of all, I'm going to ask you questions.
Go on. And we don't know what these are. We have not written these.
Yeah. Look at that.
Oh.
Yo, this is kind of mad still. Mad. Who are you afraid of?
Oh, who am I afraid of?
That's a mad question. Yo.
Oh my gosh.
These
who
questions
am I
are crazy.
This is deep for a first question.
This is youth, man.
Who am I afraid of?
Steve.
Steve. A little bit, not gonna lie.
Who
am I afraid of? Boy, this is hard.
I lie.
Who are you afraid of?
Who am I afraid of? My mama.
Your mum. Who am I afraid of? Oh, I can't do it.
Steve a little bit.
Yeah, let's go, Steve. A little
He
bit
ain't
afraid
on
of
nothing
Steve.
though. Like, call him now. Make him come what? Afraid of what? I'll see this guy.
No, I've got a holy answer. I am afraid of getting to heaven one day and Jesus being like, this is what you could have done, but this is only what you did.
Oh.
I'm a bit afraid of that.
No. It's really,
That's a holy one.
When you're in heaven, yeah, and he'll be like, alright, so why'd you do that?
Yeah,
What were you thinking?
yeah.
Like, what was going through your head? I was like, I don't know.
yeah.
He's bugging out.
Let's go with that. Okay, I'm going to ask you the one. That's intense. Are there like some fun ones?
I like.
Okay. These are hard to open. Who inspires you most in your everyday life?
More than one person still.
I think you've just got to do one.
Just one.
Who inspires you the most?
Inspires me. Who inspires me? Who really inspires me? Who do I look up to?
Steve. The answers to all the questions.
Nah, I'm sorry, man. I look up to him, yeah, but his crep. Look at his crep.
Oh, we love Steve. You've upped his crep game.
Yeah, like,
You
and the beard and that. Yeah, I look up to his beard. I do look up to him like 97% in it.
Yeah.
But in my everyday life, I don't really think about him every day like that. So, inspires me. Who inspires me? My mum. Cause my mum's like I don't want to violate mum, but she can be annoying sometimes, isn't it? When I'm in a bad mood. But like, even though I'm in a bad mood, she's always pushing.
That's good, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She never giving up, never. And that's real. Like, she never give up. Like,
that is good. These questions are deep.
it's mad.
Yeah.
It's mad. I feel like I need to appreciate mum way more than I do.
We love you, mums.
On a real note. Alright, let me find some more. This is long. If your mum asked to give you one piece of advice, what would you tell her?
If I had to give my mum one piece of advice. That is hard. These questions are so much harder. What have we signed up for? If I was to give my mum one piece of advice, probably in my teenage years, it would have been just to know that your daughter still does love her. Because I played up a bit in my teenage years.
Word.
So I was argumentative, I didn't always listen, I would go out when I shouldn't have gone out and stuff. And so just to know that was just a season and that would pass.
Mad, you lived hard for a bit.
Yeah.
Did you wear Nike and Adidas at the same time?
No, I didn't. You know, it was like Vans were the big thing then.
Because if you didn't wear Nike and Adidas at the same time, then you can't have been that wild. Because if someone wears Nike and Adidas, they're wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
Maybe I wasn't that wild.
At the same time.
Different kind of wild. Okay.
Anyway.
Let's go. There's not many left. Hope this is interesting for you guys.
I lie, trust me.
Who would you want to be if you weren't you?
Yo.
Yeah, deep.
Hey, that's bad. This is gonna sound so crazy, yeah? But my best friend.
Who's your best friend?
Tash.
Oh, I love that.
I want to be Tash still, I can't lie.
Why?
Cause he's taller than me. He got like muscle and he can run around without getting out, bro.
Oh, I love that.
He dresses like cold, he dresses fresh and that. And yeah, and he's intelligent as well at the same time. So yeah, I'll probably be like Tash. I'll probably be Tash. I was Tash, yeah. Oh, that'd be mad. But anyway, yeah. Next question.
Next question.
Next question.
I'm on edge. Got
On
butterflies.
Butterfly. Talking of butterflies, the new Similar Differences drop got butterflies on the back and it looks cold. So I'll just let you guys know.
If you don't know what Similar Differences is, this is the creator.
You know what I'm saying?
Similar
Drop
Differences
free,
merch.
drop free. I'm
There
the
you go.
CEO, yeah? Describe the person in front of you in 2 words. So you got to describe Henry.
Henry, cameraman. Oh, I've got to do it to you.
Oh, to me?
Because they can't see Henry.
Oh, Henry. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I messed it up.
Okay. Why don't I do Henry and Wanya?
All right, cool.
Henry, 2 words. What's the word when you've got like good intuitive for Henry, and intuitive and brave, because Henry did have like his own business and he has changed that round and now he works for church, and so yeah, intuitive and brave. Wanya,
Mad.
you are entrepreneurial
Mad.
and a trailblazer for your
Trailblazer?
generation. Yeah, trailblazer, leader.
That's
yeah.
a mad one still.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow, I like that list. Trailblazer.
Well, probably that's all we've got time for.
That's all we've got time for, you know what I'm saying? That's all we've got time for. Thanks you guys for staying and not skipping the video on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? More of this sort of stuff to come, you know what I'm saying? Keep staying tuned in the youth, and now it's time for worship. So
Enjoy.
enjoy that.
I'll search the world, but it couldn't fill me. Man's empty praise and treasures of faith are never enough. Then you came along and put me back together, and every desire is now satisfied here in your love. Hey, come on. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. There's nothing, nothing is better than you. Yes, I know it's true. Yes, it is. I'm not afraid to show you my weakness, my failures and flaws. Lord, you've seen them all, and you still call me friend. 'Cause the God of the mountain, yeah, He is the God of the valley. There's not a place your mercy and grace won't find me again. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing, nothing is better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing, nothing is better than you. Come on. 'Cause you turn mourning to dancing. Yeah, you do. You give beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. 'Cause you're the only
How good are our youth band? They are incredible. And we hope you enjoyed Youth Takeover back last Sunday too. And we've actually mixed things up for tonight. We were going to have a bit of a preach here, but we decided that actually it would be more important to show something of Youth Takeover from last Sunday. And not all of you might have seen, but at the 11:30 service, we had an interview with a retired couple in our church, Andrew and Amanda Harris. They've been key members of C3 for a long time. They've worked on staff at churches, but they've also worked in prison. So they have got a real rounded approach to life and what they've seen. And so we hope you enjoy this. We hope you lean in. And if no one's told you lately how important you are, we hope that this interview shows you just how important you are. So enjoy.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We hope you enjoyed the service. So we are joined by Amanda and Andrew Harris for our interview. Got some questions for you guys. We're really excited. So how are you guys today on this nice Sunday?
Great.
Awesome.
Love to be here. Love to see what you've done with the lounge.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah, looking very good.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so our first question for you guys is, what does hope mean to you?
Well, for me, hope is biblical hope, which is an assured hope. And for me, it's like a picture of the future that God has guaranteed, into which I pour my faith. To use my faith in order to bring to pass those things that God's promised. It's key to our living. Wow. It's key to life. So that's how I understand hope.
Amazing, yeah. Awesome.
Awesome.
For me, hope is everything. I've placed my whole trust in a God who I've never seen, and I'm trusting and I have hope that it is real for me. And it says in the book, doesn't it, without hope the people perish.
Yeah.
And I feel that without hope we do perish. We perish not just physically but emotionally and spiritually. So hope is the key to the future. It's the key to everything.
Yeah, it's amazing we can put all our hope in God. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's great.
Like what you both said, just how hope and faith interline. So like you need the two. Obviously, what do you feed your hope with that faith? That's what keeps us going. Yeah, great words there. Yeah. Moving on to another question. So what hope do you see for the future generation?
They're the hope of the world.
Yeah.
We've invested massively in the next generation and the one after that. I mean, God is investing in you. He's set you guys up to run the world when we are dead and gone. And at school we used to, in a relay team, you'd pass the baton on, and we'd always save the best runners till last in our teams. And I think you're the best runners. I mean, you've got masses of insight into global problems. We had no communication. We just used to go to the library, read newspapers. We didn't know what was going on in the world. We didn't know about the injustices, the unfairness. We didn't know about climate change and all these issues that you're so up to speed with. And the hope, God has put the hope for this planet in your hands, no less.
No pressure then, right? No pressure. But it's interesting, isn't it? You speak to young people and I know they've got some unique problems, some unique pressures that we didn't have. So for example, when I went to university, I didn't have to pay a penny. You guys pay tens of thousands. That must be pressure. When I was sort of at university and I came out, I was almost guaranteed a job because so few people went to university. That's pressure for you guys now. So you go to university, think you're going to get a job, you come out and it's difficult, isn't it? And you got all the kind of issues about the environment and all these kind of things that are really kind of real to you, weren't real to us at that time. And so there's a lot of pressure on young people today. However, when I listen to young people in C3, when I listen to you guys, I'm really sort of enthusiastic about the future because I see a passion in you and I see a hope in you and I see sort of a real aspirational attitude that you're going to change things. And I believe that the young people today need a voice, but I think it's up to us elders to actually allow you to speak and to be heard. And I would just pick up with what Amanda said about being cause-driven. I think young people today are much more cause-driven than we ever were. Young people today, I think, are at the forefront of all this kind of racial and inequality and all the discrimination that's going off. We should be applauding people for that. I believe the society is going to be better because you guys are at the vanguard of some of these things. And if we just sit back and let you do it, I think it's going to take a long time. But if we get behind you guys and say, hey, we support you in this, we encourage you in this, get on, and get on board with you, I think we can change things fast. I really do. But it's not just up to you guys, it's up to us as well, as older leaders, if you like, making way for you guys to come through. It's so important. That's where the hope lies, I think, in the future. For generations working together, for allowing young people to take the lead in some of these areas. Absolutely vital.
It's amazing, yeah.
It's great, isn't
Well,
it?
again, like an inspirational talk. Yeah. Feel so empowered, yeah.
That's good.
My next question for you guys is, how have you sustained hope when life is hard?
Well, obviously getting to our advanced age, we've had lots of challenges in life and sadnesses. And I have learned that you cannot rely on your feelings in these situations. When your back's against the wall, your feelings will be no help whatsoever. You have to base your behaviour, your actions, your thoughts on fact. And the only facts that I can hold true are in the good book. And I have to go back to the Bible and what God says in those situations. And like most older people, we've got a couple of key scriptures, that we go back to when times are tough. And Isaiah 43 verse 2, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. That's such a comfort to know that whatever you're going through, God is with you. And, for me personally, I've had a lot of health issues recently, and going into surgery and not knowing what's going to happen at the other end. Psalm 91 is my go-to. I read it just before. And it just comforts me to know that God's got me under his wing and that whatever happens, I'm safe. Ditch your feelings, young people. They're not reliable.
Exactly.
Go to the Word.
Rooted in the Word, that's
definitely.
good. Yeah, it's key.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a fairly optimistic guy normally, but I really do think the hard stuff does happen, and it can easily derail people. And for me, the key thing, I think, particularly when we are derailed spiritually, is to make sure we have good friends. But not just any old friends, wise friends. Because so often we have friends like ourselves. Well, when you're going through a difficult time, I want people to speak truth into my life. And I can remember a time when we had a real terrible tragedy in our home. Our son Thomas died in a cot death. But there was a friend of ours who was totally different from us. I mean, she was 30 years older than us. She came from a very strict Baptist background, and we came from a kind of lively Pentecostal church. And but she spoke truth into our life. And she only said one thing to us, really, that we've kind of held on to. She said, Andrew and Amanda, whatever you do, just do the basic things, and I believe that Jesus will come through for you. And so we just did the basic things. We just read our Bible, even when God didn't seem to be speaking to us. We prayed even though we felt God didn't hear us and wasn't saying anything to us. We went to church and found that quite difficult. And as soon as it finished, we went home. But eventually, because God is love, because God's nature is love, he couldn't help but lift us and restore us. And after a period of time, we found the joy of the Lord again. We could hear his voice. We could do the things that God has called us to do. And that's only because we had a friend who could speak truth into our lives. And I would say to young people today, whatever you do, get a friend, not like you necessarily, but a friend who loves you enough to speak truth into your life when you need it. For us, it was life-changing. Most people at that time didn't know how to handle us, and so they kind of moved away. Not deliberately, but they just didn't know how to handle death and grief and what have you. But this friend stuck closer than a brother to us and spoke truth, simple truth. Just do the normal things, and God will come through to you. And that's the sort of stuff that sustained us through that crisis. We need people bigger than us, don't we? Look for mentors. Look for people. Don't wait for them to come to you. Look for people different than yourself, further on than yourself, and relate to them, open up to them. And I'll tell you, when you go through a crisis, they'll speak truth into your life, and it'll save your life. Save your life.
That's good.
Yeah, such wisdom,
Yeah, much wisdom. Yeah, it's I like what you said as well, just about like accountability, like who you also go to, for reference and stuff. It's good to have friends who always tell you what's good at the time, but you also need friends who are actually true, who actually tell you stuff that will actually challenge you and move you, because we grow by moving, we grow by moving forward. But how do you move forward from one person telling you what you need to know, not what's good at the time or what you might be feeling at the time just to comfort you, but then just to build you in spirit. So I thank you for that. So about the future then,
Well, I'm excited for the future with your generation. I think, as I said earlier, you've got so much insight into global issues. We were so parochial, perhaps because we didn't have communication in quite the same way. You know, if there's a disaster in one side of the world, you guys know about it in about 2 minutes. And you can start planning to help and do things. I think, you know, global warming's a big issue for you, but I think you've got the will. You've got young people like Greta Thunberg. I mean, how amazing that a young woman should have such a platform and such a voice, and you know, and have so many followers. It's amazing what the media and the internet have been able to do. But I think also the coronavirus has, I mean, we've lost friends and family to this dreadful illness. I know lots of people have suffered dreadfully. But it's also been a time, as we were talking earlier, Cabela, for people to reflect and think about what's really important in their lives. And, you know, I think it's, you know, people are starting to really prioritise. They've had that time away from the normal humdrum life, and they've been able to think about what really is important, and they can pour their lives into that in the future. I think watch this space. You guys are going to be fantastic and amazing in the future. And you're going to choose our care homes. There might not be any care homes back then, but you know, it's all good.
Welcome.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, I'm really optimistic about the future. I see the church as becoming, you know, everything that God really intended it to be. I'm believing for a bigger, more vibrant church in the future. It's amazing, isn't it? So that it's taken probably the pandemic to kind of get us to realise that part of our responsibility is to care for the orphans, the widows, the lost, the lonely, the least. And I've seen churches mobilised in these areas now, and it's thrilling me. It's thrilling me. I think that sort of, if you look at, say, what C3 Impact is doing, can you imagine if every church replicated something like that? I mean, we would actually be, you know, a church of influence in this nation. I believe also, and I'm really excited about this, about young people coming into leadership. Now, when I thought of leadership, when I first came into to faith, it was quite interesting, really, because leadership was really confined to church. And therefore, if you have any leadership sort of about you, you need to get into church. You need to be a pastor or house group leader or whatever. But these days, I think sort of young people have really positioning themselves in a different way in relation to using their influence. They're no longer being restricted to kind of seeing their influence and their leadership simply in church, and they see it much more out there in society. And they have aspirations, therefore, to become involved in politics, to become involved in the media, to become involved in medicine, you name it. And they see themselves not just being the very best they can be as a doctor or a musician or whatever, but a culture changer in those settings. And can you imagine if all the young Christians today took the leadership and the influence they have into these settings? The impact on society is going to be absolutely amazing. And I know people who have gone into companies and changed the culture so that culture is much more biblical, even though they've never mentioned the word Bible there. And so I'm really excited about the way society can morph as young people pick up the sort of mantle of leadership and take it into society rather than seeing it just strictly within the spiritual limits of the church. I think that's fantastic. I'm really optimistic about that. We're going to live in a better society. I know people moan and groan about the future. I'm really optimistic. God is still on the throne. He's on the throne in a good day. He's still on the throne even in this pandemic. And I believe that things are going to come out of this pandemic that's going to reshape the church. We can have better ways of actually reaching the lost than we've ever had before. And it's taken something like this to really bring the church to the forefront and begin to get the church thinking about the ways that we engage and relate to our community. So I'm really optimistic about the future. And you guys are going to be at the forefront of this, a vanguard of this. And again, it comes back to us as more senior leaders to make way for you. It's not that we're going to be redundant, but we have to readjust our role so we become available to you to support, to encourage, to mentor, and to sort of, you know, teach. You know, Paul said you have many teachers, but few fathers. And I believe that the older generation need to start fathering the young people coming up. You know, putting something in them that's beyond just the Bible. but wisdom and wealth of experience, those kind of things, and caring for people.
Sure.
That's how young people grow, and that's how I think society will benefit from them. And I'm looking forward to it.
Beautiful.
I'm looking forward to it.
That's great. Yeah. And we've got one last question for you guys. What do you wish you'd known when you were 18? So I'm 18, so what would you wish you would know when you guys were my age?
Rewinding back.
Oh, wow.
I think when I was 18, I was in a mess, like most young people. You know, insecure, worried about the future, worried about A-level results. Would I get into university? You know, worried about finding someone I could love and all these things. And no hope for the future because I wasn't a Christian. I was carving it out in my own strength, and it's absolutely exhausting. Nobody that I could trust, nobody who listened to me or even cared, really. A real mess. Had I known about Jesus, that would have been a life-changing thing. To know that somebody got my back, that somebody got my future, that somebody I could trust. It would have just been totally life-changing. But somebody needed to tell me. I'd been to church every week of my life till I was about 14, listened to endless sermons, but still didn't know that Jesus was the way to God. I was looking for God in all sorts of places, but Jesus was the way to God, and that simple message was never told me. And once I realised, it was life-changing. So I think you generation who've actually got the youth and the vigour on your side, but also the spiritual insight, it's a limitless future for you. The world's your oyster. You can go anywhere you want with God at your side, in a way that people who are on their own will just probably end up drinking themselves to death, or, you know, just, you know, sinking into mental health issues and feeling hopeless and helpless. You've got the hope of the world on your shoulders.
It's good. I would echo that, really. I mean, I was in my late 20s before I came to Jesus, and prior to that, and I was brought up a Catholic, went to Catholic school, taught by nuns, taught by priests, but I didn't know the significance of the cross. And it wasn't until in my late 20s that I came to know Christ. And the thing for me was this: no one ever told me about it. That's the frustrating thing. No one ever told me about it. And what I would say to young people today is go and tell. Go and tell people about the person that's transformed your life. Demonstrate the love of Jesus to them. Make a pathway in that person's life so that they can respond to the gospel. Just go and tell them. The other thing I would say to them, I was thinking about this question, I would say this, you know, be comfortable in your own skin. You know, one of the sort of acts I think of young people today is that they're just simply not comfortable about the way God's made them. And they go after all kinds of things, or they imitate all kinds of people, or they're trying to copy some other person. But listen, your uniqueness is so valuable to God. So why trade it for a cheap copy of something else? And God's made you in a unique way because He has a unique purpose. So if you morph your uniqueness and make it something different, then I think you're going to miss God's best for you. And actually, if you miss God's best, everybody else misses God's best for them. And so for me, be comfortable in your sin and don't sell out for something cheap. Don't sell out for something cheap. And when you're comfortable in your skin, you'll take more risks. And with God on your side, if you like, failure then is never fatal. You know, He will always lift you up. He'll always give you another chance. And again, it comes down back to leaders as well, saying, listen, guys, I want you on board. I want to give you some responsibilities. But if you fall flat on your face, hey, I'm here to lift you up. It's not going to be fatal. It's just part of your journey. But it all stems from being comfortable, I think, in who God's made you to be. Not fighting it, but embracing it. We're all different, aren't we? I mean, I can't sing for toffee. You could put me through as many sort of singing lessons as you want. It will make no difference.
I'm with you on that.
You've got some great singers in the youth, haven't you? Let them sing. I'll do something else. You know, I haven't got a pressure of trying to do something that I'm no good at. And so when you're comfortable in your skin, God is able to use you and you're able to flow in His plans and purposes a lot more easily. So just be comfortable in who you are. Don't try to copy or imitate anybody else. That's what I'd say.
Great.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, thank you for coming on and sharing such wisdom with us. It's been amazing.
Well, we hope that really blessed you and that you enjoyed it. And remember that you are the people that are going to make this world a better place. Wherever you are right now, you don't have to wait until you're a certain age or you've got so much experience, but actually right now you can change the world. And right now we're going to take a moment to maybe look at how practically we can do that. We're going to pray for each other. We're going to play some games in our life groups. And so if you're not part of a youth life group, do write a comment in the comment section or direct message to C3 Youth on Instagram or Facebook, as we really want to build community together and be those people that make this world a better place. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you back here next week for C3 Youth.